Folks, I have Jim Bannon on the line, and he's coming. We're going down to Suntan. Is it Suntan Valley, Arizona?
San.
Oh, San. San. Very small script. I got my paper here. So we're going down to Arizona today to talk to Jim. And this is a pre-workup. I'm going to actually, for iTunes tonight, I will record an intro, and it'll sound kind of cool. I try to read it or do it, it won't. And so this is Mr. Scan Master. I've never seen this. What do you call it? The scan codes? I put the app in, and I got your 3 apps on the side of the menu here. So,
okay, great.
My family, I got them off to New York last night. My 2 daughters are competing in the gymnastics. My youngest daughter was rated last year at 12, third in the Southwest, first overall bars. So they're pretty high level of competition.
That's huge.
A lot of money. Hey, I've got my sister's lab and my lab here, and like they're wrestling right now. So I'll be right back. Okay.
Sure.
I'm going to put them outside. Okay. Now we're not going to go quite yet. I need a second of silence. Hi, Jim. Welcome to Timelines. How is the weather down in Arizona?
Let's see. We'll look out the window, and the sun is shining, and the mountain is right there, and life is good. It's gorgeous.
And it is Friday. It's the last work day of the month of January. January went by pretty darn fast, didn't it?
Sure did.
What are your goals this year? Have you broken any yet?
I have 2 goals.
Resolutions, I should say.
Yeah, resolutions. Major League Baseball and Elio Motors, the new 3-wheel auto cycle.
Why the 3-wheeled auto cycle? I guess that's what they do down in Arizona these days.
Yeah, I hope they do it across the country.
You got a lot of open country down there. I know the weather's generally nice. Now you're from Chicago. Tell us your story. How did you get to where you are, and exactly what are you doing now?
Yeah, I moved all over the country. The bullet point is I say I put my arm around the richest man in the world. I say, trust me, and the rest is history. So I was a very young and I'm not worthy. I was the national account sales manager for General Electric, and that guy's name was Sam Walton, and I knew he and his wife Helen and so forth personally, and it was just really terrific. And so I've been very honored. I've had some challenges like anybody that has these gray hairs. I beat cancer, was in the hospital 3 times, put myself back together. I have 1.5 feet of titanium and 13 screws in my leg. But I have a passion. A passion is charity and giving back to others. And the mission is I've done everything for the past week to drive attendance to this Blab because I have a message that I think can help the world. And as we get into this, hopefully Walmart will pay these people for their attendance here today.
Well, I just realized 43 people have come by. That's good. So I'm going to go back and ask a question. I've never met anybody or talked to anybody who actually has known Sam Walton.
What a man. If he saw what was happening with his company today, he'd roll over in his grave.
Yeah, I remember the early days reading about him, and I was a young officer down in the South. And I remember he always talked about buying America or trying to create product in America. I know Walmart now is, they're worldwide, of course, and they export like maniacs. And I've seen the ships off of Long Beach all stacked up coming in with all the goods during October, November.
Yep.
It's in the connexes and all the transportation here in our hub here in Reno. But it has changed. So it's owned by the kids. It's still privately owned, though, the company.
No, it's publicly traded ever since Sam put on the hula skirt.
Oh, yeah. It's publicly traded. But don't the kids own a majority of it and control it?
Oh, heck yeah.
Family. Yeah. Interesting. So you mentioned something. What do you think he would not like right now?
Well, Sam was a very modest person. Matter of fact, on a different Blab, I'll tell you a story about the dinner where I had his whole executive staff as my guest in the speech that he made. And my boss, who in the back of the room said the only right thing at the time, because Sam was making fun of ostentatiousness and corporate greed and all that stuff. And my boss, the lowest guy in the room other than me, he said, "Hey, Sam, can you finish those comments pretty quick? We've got 5 limos waiting outside for us to go home."
It's funny you said that this week, just will close up this little discussion, but this week there's some controversy in that Walmart was closing 150 stores, and a lot of these were remote stores, and they're mostly grocery stores. So, I mean, they have, as a business, they have no responsibility to have to lose money or not break even, and they have to run it and make money, of course. But for the good of those people in those communities, if people understood the good things those stores were doing, and they maybe got better publicity on those stores, maybe they wouldn't have shut them down.
Well, I compliment them on experimenting with different formats, right? I also happen to be around with the beginning of the whole food and drug getting together for superstores, but that's again another discussion.
Let me go into one thing there, because I was a city councilman before the war, amid a city of about 200,000, and I'm a free market guy, and I believe that the free market brings the best for the citizens and the people. And Walmart definitely brought lower prices, but our city, we could not get the votes to allow a super Walmart early on because of the special interest of the other grocery stores having relationships with the council members and not being able to open and vote those up. So they made special ordinances so you couldn't build the super stores. Now what happens is the cities right next door get those stores.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with Home Depot. The cities right next door, right literally on the other side of the street, got the stores because the city I was in of 200,000 would not, allow those stores to go in. But so they just went across the street to Riverbank is the name of the city. It's a very small city right next door and built a big store. So, I mean, it's interesting stuff. I think it goes both directions, but that's interesting. We'll have to talk some other time. That's really to be able to know Sam Walton. I've heard nothing but good things about him and how hard he worked. And he delivered a lot of good things for America, especially for the South. When I was down in the South, some of the places, we wouldn't have had the quality of goods without Sam Walton.
And leaving everything on a positive note, which is my mantra. If you've been reading the letters or the papers lately, Walmart has just given all their employees a raise.
Well, that's good.
And that's a major thing. So that's an event that just happened this week. So
let's get back to your story now. We broke a little bit. You're retired, but not retired.
Right.
And you had cancer. That's a pretty amazing story too.
Yeah. She says, what about retirement do you not understand?
Right. I can't see ever really retiring. You should always, if you love doing things and creating things, you should always be creating and doing. I think that's what we're made for.
And learning.
Oh yeah. It's constant. Last 2 or 3 years, I've learned so much and so much has changed. So what do you see are the changes? Now we're going to go into the second part of this after the break. We're going to go into a little bit about your success and life principles. But before that, I'd like to talk about this QR code that you're talking about constantly.
Yeah. In your business, is there anybody who does things terribly wrong?
In my business?
Any of your competitors?
My business is different now. We have real estate, of course, in California.
Yeah.
Here, and I'm mostly doing the new media work. So my competitors, I think we all do. It's a tough business to be in, what we're doing, trying to make money in the new media world. But there's so much out there.
It is a tough business. In my struggle, I'm pushing a rope uphill, because so many people who came before me did it so terribly wrong that it turns people off. And the normal human being, when lack of knowledge, their brain goes to negative. And when they're confused, they just abandon any kind of effort to learn. And the QR code, I say very humbly, is the most powerful communication tool known to mankind. And hopefully by the end of this Blabcast, I will have proven that point.
What we'll probably have to do is we'll probably have to tease the folks in iTunes and the podcast and have them tune into the YouTube portion on the website or on YouTube after the podcast. Because it sounds like we're going to have to go into detail.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be a visual.
So how long have you been down in Arizona?
Moved in October 30th.
Oh, so you're brand new. Just got there.
Yep.
And you're up in Chicago.
Right? I was living on the second most highly traveled waterway in the United States. I wanted to name my boat CCM Water because I had the water in the front yard and I had the country club in the backyard.
Was that in the river?
Yeah, Chain O Lakes. If you look on Google Earth, Chain O Lakes. It's wonderful.
That the Chicago River system?
It's the Fox Waterway that comes on the very northwest side, right just south of the Playboy Club.
I spent some time in Chicago doing threat analysis. I loved it there because I come from design build construction, and to see all the architects there. That's all American modern architect was started in Chicago after the fire. Pretty amazing place.
I was in the building materials industry in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty amazing place. So Chicago, where were you raised? Where were you born?
I was born in Pittsfield, Mass, and GE moved me so often all across the country that I was asking for the moving van driver by name.
You really don't have much of an accent, possibly Midwest a little bit.
Pittsfield is where I was born. It's the western Berkshire Mountains.
Okay.
My daughter went to Northeastern. That's when they talk like this. But
I was stationed at Fort Devens as a first lieutenant, so
yeah,
nice, which was a really nice place to be.
and I read your background, very admirable, and thank you for your service, and
Thanks.
thank all the veterans and active service people across the country.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm just happy we're all in one piece in my family. I've been blessed.
Yes.
The whole family's been blessed through many a war. So I think the last time we lost a Conrad was in the Civil War. We got pretty well documented.
Good.
Very good. So driving on, we're going to come back and go into your life and success principles. And we'll talk about a little bit more about the technology of the QR code. Okay, Jim, we're coming back off the break, and you're kind of interesting. You've done a lot of things, very eclectic. That's one thing about us older folks. We've done a lot of different things, so we're still doing things, and we want to do even more. But let's jump right into your life and success principles. You have 3. You give me today, and always help others. Number 1, always help others get what they want, and they will help you get what you want. So, want to explain that and give some examples?
Well, I have always been volunteering. I mean, as a young single guy, I walked into the Boy Scouts of America and said, "Do you need any help?" And they almost fell over. They said, "Nobody does that." So they made me a scoutmaster, and we started troop in the ghetto. Those kinds of things. I've been a lector in church. I'm deeply involved in a number of charities. So it's got to be a major part of your life. Otherwise, you get too focused in areas.
To be able to give back, you have to take care of yourself and your family. And you've done that because you stayed gainfully employed through your career. So it's a combination of both, taking care of your family and then with that extra being able to give back.
No question. I have 2 daughters, and I'm so proud. One's a sponsored triathlete. She's now 37 years old and turning in the best times of her life. My joke is, Jamie, you just ran that half Ironman in 6 hours and 30 minutes. I can't spend 6 hours and 30 minutes in my recliner.
That's pretty amazing. Triathlon is a tough thing to do. Swimming. Swimming. Let's see. They swim, they bike, and then they run, something like that.
That's correct. Yeah.
Very good. So going on, helping others. What are some of the examples? Anytime in your life when it's been sort of tough, when you didn't have the bandwidth to help others?
Yeah, it was tough. I joked that I was the most well-known unemployed guy in Chicago.
Interesting.
How
about your cancer? You had cancer. How long ago was that?
I am 6 years a cured survivor. And by the way, no man should ever die by stubbornness. And prostate cancer kills more men in the world and not one man has to die. So my surgeon didn't invent the PSA test, but he's probably the number 1 most widely known name in the country. His name's Bill Catalona. And I'm very active in cancer organizations across the country, even today.
So the PSA test is just the blood test, correct?
Yes.
And then you go
Pretty simple. Saved my life.
Yeah. I noticed the sun is coming out now. We have an interesting day today. We have a storm coming in the high Sierras, and we've got 110 mile an hour winds at the peaks, and I'm at 5,000. The peaks are at almost 13,000, and valleys are at 7,000 above us. So you'll see the clouds changing the color of my light right now if you're watching on TV.
Okay.
So, driving on, write a blog was your number 2. I like that. Write a blog. So when did you start blogging?
Let's see. October 18th of 2010.
Is the blog still up?
Yes, it is. It is my company name, which is reverse on my lower third. I haven't been able to figure out how to change that mirror image, but it is budget video, the number 4, biz, B-I-Z, dot, and then it's blogspot.com.
Hey, Jim, exactly how long are your blabs?
You meant blogs?
Blogs. Did I say blabs? Blogs. I got blab and blog. That's so neat. They're so close on your posts.
Let's see. My shortest was probably a question. Walmart, an institution of higher education. That got probably the most traffic of any of the blog articles I've written in the last 5 years. Most of them are quite long. It's because of how I communicate. Because if you're interested in what I'm trying to share with you for your benefit, then you'll spend time reading. If you're not, you won't. And, I tell people that a keyboard has a delete key, but I have yet to find one with a create key. So I actually swim against the stream, and I write very long things. They're very detailed, because if you got a question in your mind, I assure you that in my blog post, it's going to answer that question.
This is nice. We do a show called WP Tonic and Timelines. It's a tech show, WordPress show, and it's going to be tomorrow morning. We make a podcast out of that. That podcast is number 2 in its category in WordPress. It's hadn't been that high. I don't know where it is today. But I'm going to bring your blog up tomorrow because I was looking at it. Interesting blog. I love blogs. And they can really grow and have a lot of benefit. So
that's how I got all started. I went and met a professional blogger, and that turned my online presence around.
Very good. Very good. And finally, my relationships. You talk about relationships being important to you.
Yeah, you heard that my title was National Sales Manager at General Electric. I was 29 years old. So that's kind of a responsible job. And I used to tell everybody, and I believe it to this day, I'm probably not a very good salesman.
Yep. You said actually the relationships of giving. So, okay.
Yep. Because I never looked at selling as doing something to benefit me. I had this passion because I knew I could make my customers more money than anyone else that they dealt with. And that's what drove me every day of my life. And that's what drove the career. It's kind of unusual because some people might think it's pushy. I would feel terrible pushing somebody if it was for my benefit. But pushing somebody for their benefit, like keeping alive by taking a PSA blood test, yeah, I'll get a little pushy and in your face. And, after that, people get to know me and trust me. And they say, wow, I'm glad you pushed me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a very good salesperson.
You came out of the corporate structure. So what type of sales did you do for the corporation?
Well, for General Electric Lighting Group, right, I started out in a local territory in Cincinnati. I got promoted to headquarters. I ran the hardware business. And then I got promoted into mass merchandiser. So I had every discount store in America. And then they sent me out to manage people in Pittsburgh with a 25% unemployment. And so I turned that district around. Then they reorganized and they brought 5 people in to head the P&L of in direct sales of the largest accounts in the country. So I was national account sales manager for the whole hardware business.
Well, so that's how you got to Walmart and those areas.
Well, Walmart was when I was my first job, national sales manager of mass merchandiser and national accounts. I started the home center business for GE. I had all the True Value, and it was called HWI at the time, and Ace Hardware and people like that.
Now, before the war, I had design build construction, and I went to National Home Builders Association all the time.
Yeah.
But my very, very favorite line to put in was GE Profile. Do you have anything to do with that side of the house?
None at all. My dad was in the appliance business down in Louisville, Kentucky. And other than knowing some of those people, I got invited by Jack Welch, the chairman, to be one of 20 people when he put together his consumer products and services seminar. And that was quite an honor.
Dollar for dollar, by far the best value in appliances, the Profile line. If you get the Profile, it's worth a slight upgrade. But compared to everything else out there, and we did a lot of research. That's one thing. 9 years I ran the design build company. My wife loved it too. We had design in house. I built 2 subdivisions, customs, and some commercial. But what I loved about that company, we constantly researched product and material, and it was fun. It was really fun doing that. But GE, by far, was the best dollar for dollar value. So good for GE. Hey, with that, we're going to go to break, and we're going to come back. We're going to let you have a short commercial, what the listener can do for you or help you, and what you can do for the listener. And then we can go on in the last few minutes with one last question. And then after we finish this podcast, we'll go on YouTube we'll talk more about your QR codes because I think you're going to have to demo them and look at them. I know I've downloaded the QR codes that you sent me, and I did put the app in my iPhone.
Now, I succeed when I get you to no longer use the term QR code.
Okay, Jim, the wild dogs are semi-tamed right now, and we're back off the break to finish this up. But, we didn't talk about a couple of things before we go into your commercial. Your book, A Made to Stick, is one of your favorite books. Why is that?
Well, because it's a success formula and basically says if you want to communicate anything, you need to get to people's mind. But you get to their heart before you get to their mind. And what's the best communication tool? Obviously, video. But how you use that is you tell a story that has a value and a benefit for the audience. And those two authors are actually very techie guys. They're two brothers who are PhD professors at the University of Michigan. And even though my daughter's a Buckeye, I think it's the best book in the world. And a guy who taught me video marketing, I'll give him a shout out, is Miguel Hernandez from Grumo Media. And he does not produce a video that is not based on that book and that success formula. He's so anal, he actually scores it on a spreadsheet. So every word in his script, he gives a numerical score. And if it doesn't reach his goal, he throws the script away and does it again. So I am very passionate about communicating with stories and video.
Very good. No, I can relate to that. And that's what I'm trying to do too. It's easy for some people, but I think others have to work at it. But it's still a great medium. So give us a commercial. Tell the listener how they can find you. Your email and your Skype name, I guess.
Yeah, my Skype name is always the best because it's always on. It's Jim Bannon, Bannon 306.
Okay.
My blog is my old company name, which is Budget Video, the numeral 4, BIZ, as in Bravo Ivory Zebra .blogspot.com. And ironically, all you have to do is type call to action symbols into Google, and guess what? I'm just filled all over the internet. The other thing is that if you type in hashtag engage direct measure, you'll also find a lot of things that I've written, and that's most recent.
Very good. And also you had rivercat360@gmail.com, which I always love Gmail.
River Rat with an R.
Yeah, River Rat. And everyone go over to Timelines of Success, episode 191, or just put in Jim's name or put in the word Jim into search. And, this is hysterical. I've got folks on podcasting out there. I've got like 2 labs out there are driving me nuts right now. but once we get to the YouTube portion, it'll be easy because I won't worry about it. I'm listening to them behind me. I'm in my front room. What have they got now? So keep on going, Jim. We got to finish this up. So give us one last closing thought, and we'll finish up the iTunes portion. We'll go to the fun part where we bring in folks and also make you a host.
Thank you.
One last question. I'm going to ask you a question. Coming out of Chicago, living all over the place in the Midwest, what was your favorite food and what's favorite places to eat? Give us a couple.
My favorite food is Skyline Chili out of Cincinnati.
Ooh, it always sounds good.
Okay, you give me a 3-way and 3 cheese conies and I'm in heaven.
Okay, that's a good way to finish. I'm going to go tame the wild dogs. I'm going to let you start opening us up to Blab to answer questions. And I have a lot of questions too. Folks, go over on, go to timelinesofsuccess.com, episode 191, and you'll be able to see the YouTube portion of this. We'll go into more detail. And I know Jim was explaining it on the breaks. Some of the, and if I say this as QR codes, as I know them, you said something else, Jim. What do you call them?
Call to action symbols. And the 2 is the number 2.
Call to action symbols. I call them QR codes. Symbols. We're going to learn. I thought this was like older technology because I remember we had little scanners from Radio Shack years ago.
Right. Remember the cats? I mean, you go back that far? Remember that cat scanner?
Still. I thought those were like, wow, look at this. It's cool.
Yeah.
So go ahead, open it up. You've got the hosting and can let folks in. Folks, we'll see you on the other side in YouTube. And that is it for the podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, we're recording. Go ahead and bring people up. I do want to find out about this. Let me check. I'm going to put these darn puppies outside one more time.
Hi, NC Roxanne. Hello. I have only been using Blab 3 times. I am the guest, not the host. So as my host leaves and leaves me in control, this is interesting. There's an open seat, but I can't figure out how to turn it on. So I can answer any questions that you might have in the thread. I can see that. And Chris, my Skype name, I'll type it in here. Skype name is Jim Bannon 306. And my website, best way to reach me is my company name, Budget Video for Biz. See how good a typer I am? Blogspot.com. Guess I should put the HTTP : budget video for biz.blogspot.com. And I'm going to put in the 2 phrases. I own these hashtags. Call to action. Symbols is the first one, and then this one is newer. Measure. Okay. Piper speaks promotion. Block seat. Check. I guess we're in. Yeah. Piper speaks promotion. Chris Piper. Welcome. I hope I did it right. This is a nuts day.
I got the wild dog.
I can. You got to be a little bit louder.
Chris,
you
you're
don't
up
have a
on. We
headset?
can fix it. Chris, you're up next week.
I got it here. Can you hear me now?
You're up Tuesday next
Beautiful.
week. I know that.
Just
Well, I
as
want to
beautiful
tell
as
you
your
that my
face.
sound is
good
here because of the gentleman on the screen above me, Bill Conrad, because I ordered my mic
Let's check it.
Your $54 mic?
right here.
Let's check it. So you got the little stand
There you go.
still, right?
Yeah, I got the stand, and then
Optimally, a little further
got
than
the-
this. Go ahead.
I've ordered the cover that you have and the
Now, are you using a PC?
yes, I'm using a PC.
So you can turn up the gain a little bit. You can play with that, and you get. Well, sound is good right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So where it is,
excellent.
it's
I
called.
try to be excellent.
Ideally, you got the stand.
Oh man. Well, listen, Jim, I really and Bill, we're having a hard time hearing you.
Really? You know what?
Nice.
Wait a second.
Sounds great to
Can you
me.
hear that?
Now I hear him.
Can you hear this?
I can see that.
crap.
Oh, that's the mic I have.
Crap. You know, I just did a. No, everything should be good. You hear this, right?
Yeah, I hear that.
Okay.
Reminds me of the old days, of the chalkboard days.
Yeah, I shouldn't be doing this on
No.
YouTube. That's really important. What I didn't do on this, I did a reset yesterday. We moved. If you notice, this is not my guest room upstairs because I have family coming in. My mom's here, and my sister and 2 girls are back in New York, and my wife right now for gymnastics. But you should always do a check in the morning of your mic before you do a show, especially after you change things. So if you can't hear me, usually I should be fine. I'll start peeking out on the.
You are fine now, Bill.
Say again.
You are fine.
Yeah, because I was probably
Right.
back too far.
You're fine right now.
Oh, we're now
Right,
on
we're on
YouTube,
YouTube.
right?
We've been on YouTube.
Here's my birthday
RT
present.
Spider.
Hey,
That's it. It's my birthday present.
The shirt or the actual vehicle?
Oh, I have the actual vehicle. It's bright yellow. They call me Bumblebee.
so Piper's going to be
All
on
right. So
Tuesday.
after this, Jim, you need to get in your vehicle and then periscope your ride.
There you go. I actually do video. I have a front dashboard camera, and I've even got a new rear
Hey,
camera.
Piper, did you buy one of these yet?
Which one?
Did you order the stand yet?
Oh yeah, I have the stand. It's
Okay.
coming.
Because you want to get the stand here for Tuesday. You want it here, and this you can go down for $3 at a Guitar Center and buy this $3. And then what you want to do is you get the mic discipline. We'll train it. You want to keep it about the same distance, which is about that far for this, and then you tune it to get the gain just right. It's okay where
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
but you have good
All right.
sound. And the other thing too on breathing, sometimes you turn up the gain, but you push this back so you don't hear the breathing, and that's how you get a really good sound. On Meet the Voter, which is on Sunday nights, everyone has this tool, and it's coming out really well. So that's good. Now Piper does does the it's a branding, but there's a name for it too. The industry.
It is. It's called promotional products, and I've been in the business for about 22 years, and we're basically the objective around promotional products is simply building a positive impact on brand image, and they're gifts that keep on giving. They engage, they create recall, and enhance, create lasting impressions. My role in the promotional products industry is one as a speaker and a trainer and educator to businesses on how to effectively use promotional products in their marketing mix, not to cannibalize traditional marketing, but to really create a plan behind branded merchandise so that it is effective. So that, to your point, Jim, my whole catchphrase is motivating the recipient to take action. So when we create a branded product, we're building a plan behind it so that when I give it to Jim or Bill or welcome Roxanne, I want to be able to motivate you guys to take an action that is designed by our client. And that's either going to a digital platform, social media platform, or simply coming to a trade show booth or a grand opening to experience a new product launch, like with Verizon Wireless, or a new product launch via Intel in partnership with one of their value-added resellers. And then we build in the QR, we build in the quick response code into a lot of our products.
That's a shame.
I know. I shouldn't have said QR.
That's a shame.
But they've been.
First of all, Piper, you are going to be my new power partner. You're going to be number one guy in my life for the next year.
Awesome.
Okay, and here's why I'm telling you. I listen very well. As Bill will tell you, I talk very fast, okay? I blow people away like drinking from a fire hose. But you ask a few questions, and you'll find my comprehension. I listen 3 times faster than I talk. So you helped me with the initials, but I went to McCormick Center for what I call the tchotchke show, right, is the invited guest. You got to be in the industry or they don't let you on the floor. AIS, is that right?
I've spoken at that show.
What are the initials, please?
The initials
for that show, that industry?
Yeah, it is PPAI, Promotional Products Association International. And then there's also, they have what they call the Magic Show.
Okay. Well, here's what I'd like you to do. You ready for some homework?
28 regional shows across the country.
Great. You ready for some homework?
Bring it on, buddy.
All right, I gave you my blog. Go and search the word Magic Cube, MAGIKUBE.
I know about the Magic Cube.
And I need you. I need to buy a product from you. Read about that blog article. I actually, when I started this whole call to action thing, I created a university that started with kindergarten, elementary school, junior high, high. And when you got to your master's degree, then you learned about Magic Cube. So read that blog article, and you and I are going to talk.
Yeah, I would love to talk.
I want to buy from you.
Matter of fact, there's a gentleman in Seattle that has, I guess, the Magic Cube, and they've incorporated virtual reality with it.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You and I are already going down the same path together. Yep.
Yeah. So there's an app you download, and then you take the phone over the Magic Cube, and you have 3-dimensional figures, and they can replicate a CEO speaking or some action. But it's about engagement, and that's kind of where we're taking promotional products industry, is really trying.
Hello. That's why I own the hashtag engage, direct, measure. That's what I'm all about. I guess it's the lousy GE training. It never goes away.
Yeah, well,
I was telling Bill, I don't fart in church without measuring audience engagement and interaction and response.
Okay.
So not
hey, Roxanne, I want to make sure we introduce you. We introduce you, Roxanne Davenport. Yes. Where are you calling from, and what's your and what's inspired you to join the conversation today?
Go ahead, Roxanne. She often helps on the backside and make sure I record too.
I'm Roxanne. My voice is starting to go right now. I have epilepsy, and it's not as bad. So only every 30 seconds, well, only 30 seconds I just, zone out. So it's not as bad as everybody's. So I talk about it, but my voice will be coming back now because I have a vagal nerve stimulator that runs a wire by my vocal cords and messes it up. But now you'll hear my voice. Then I was going to say that Apple Watch and Google Watch, they have started where, they can do your heart rate, do your blood pressure, do your O2 stats, just to be able to help research if you start having a seizure. Well, they're researching it, but there's a type of seizure that can kill you because your O2 will drop too low and your heart rate and your blood pressure will all drop. Well, if they're doing research on it, why can't they get a hold of somebody? Like your watch could call 911, or they can get a hold of one of your caretakers or a family. Would you be able to add an app to that, to the watch, without, conflicting with the research they're doing?
I'm not in that business.
Oh.
Roxanne, I can really empathize with your epilepsy. My best friend in the world for 42 years is a guy who used to date my wife. Mm-hmm. And he has epilepsy and unfortunately lost his 4-year-old daughter who also had epilepsy. And they think what happened is she ejected into a swimming pool, and because of the epilepsy, they couldn't revive her. So God bless you for talking about it. And I hope that the medical community invests millions and millions and millions, and we make it a thing in the past. You're brave for talking about it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing.
Well, they're finally doing that watch, but
fast.
only for research. You'd think they would, consider calling somebody if you're going into one, but they haven't. So that's why I'm trying to say, hey, use your brain.
Yeah.
Mine's a little messed up, but I can use mine. But all right.
So
that's what I was going to ask. I heard you talking about all that.
Going back to the marketing side, the people want to know primarily about marketing. Both of you guys are, Jim and Piper, are both marketers. And marketing is so important. You can have mediocre products and great marketing, have a great company. But you can't have great products and crappy marketing, have no company. And you have finance too. Piper's audio, what happened there, Piper? So I didn't get to say this to him, but you can probably hear this. I had one of my early promotional products was cups with, just says Conrad Homes. They're nice white beige cups with Conrad Home on them in red. They're really nice, really basic, not fancy, just something basic like this. And I took some of those to Afghanistan and I'd leave those behind different places. I knew who Conrad Homes, because I was a reservist on active duty in design, build, construction. And
I see.
I had fun with those. Even back then with a brand, I'd leave them on the desk and give them to people and see my cups around and the commander's offices. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, tell us a little bit more about the codes. What am I supposed to call them? They're still QR codes though, right? And what does QR stand for?
No, absolutely. Well, go ahead. Piper had the answer. Piper, tell him.
Response.
Oops.
Quick response.
Say again.
Quick.
Hey, Piper,
response.
you're low. Do me a favor. Just cycle in and out. Come back in and out again. There you go. What'd you do?
There you go. All right.
We got him.
Go ahead.
So come back in. We'll let him in. Interesting that happens.
I'll let him in. Yeah. What he said, it's quick response.
You're
okay. And you were the host and I was responding.
Piper, you're up in Oregon?
I am up in Oregon, Bend,
Did
Oregon.
the militia cut your lines up there?
Oh.
Yeah, the militia are about 2 hours east of me.
Okay.
So I'll show you.
From Idaho coming over.
I may come visit you. My brother owns property in Bend.
Well, come on up, Jim. We'll have a beer at.
I'm serious about that. I have a motor home, and when it gets over 100 here, we're going to be history. And on our bucket list is the Pacific Northwest. So Bend to be perfect. And like I said, I wasn't kidding you. I want to buy from you this year. You and I are going to make a great power partnership. But Bill, can I ask your permission, please? On the podcast part, you were the host and I was the responder. I've prepared some things. Can I sort of be the leader for?
I love it. I'll just listen. It's good.
All right. So first of all, my company mission is bringing the offline world to your online presence. Pretty simple. Most people understand that. The second byline is using call to action symbols, CALL, the number 2 symbols, trademark, as the entrance ramp to the information highway. And that's what I want to talk about today. Now, a little humor, I'm used to speaking to either one person or 5,000, and I prefer 5,000. So picture me at a microphone in front of 5,000 people at the Hyatt in Chicago, all right? And you know how the speaker says, we got some housekeeping things to take care of? So first of all, the men's room is down the hall over here. The ladies' room is down the hall over here. My dad always taught me when you were a speaker to be brief, be entertaining, and be gone. But my attitude is with this vehicle, I want to get a message across. And as I'm not making any money, I'm not trying to sell or push anything on you. So my job is to talk and your job is to listen. And hopefully I'll complete my job before you complete your job. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
So I have no dog in the hunt. I'm not going to make any money out of the gift that I'm giving you today. So that's my objection up front. Because when I say QR codes or I start being aggressive and promoting my passion, a number of people say, oh, he's trying to pitch me. Nobody wants to be sold. And especially on social media, they have attention span that's about this big. If you can't communicate 140 characters at a 5th grade educational level, they're gone. So for those people that might be in the audience where there's contempt before understanding, why don't you just bring up all your objections now? We'll deal with them, right? Because I'm here to answer and educate, and I think we can turn it into a very positive. Because like I said, Piper, I avoid the term QR codes like the plague. Mm-hmm. I've got years of experience at this thing. As soon as you use that term, people are gone. They got their mindset to something. Oh, those are old. Oh, aren't those obsolete? All right. But I have never, ever, ever, and I've spoken to hundreds, probably thousands of people about call to action symbols. Yeah, you're doing number 1 wrong. Sorry. You're doing number 1 wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you
I agree.
I'm going to give you
I agree.
Infographic right here.
I agree that this is not something that we would want to do. However, in the presentation and based on the client's needs and comfort level for the audience that was receiving this, which were students coming into this university.
Yeah, would you trust me for a second?
I will, but I wanted to.
Can I ask you to trust me? All right.
Yeah.
Here, take a look at this. Oh, it's backwards. God, I can't. I solved the mirror problem.
It's fine. It's not backwards to us.
Okay, good. These are the rules of 4. Okay, in Walmart and you, I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm trying to be productive. Walmart and you are doing the number 1 thing wrong. I say never, 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 never. Bill, did I say never?
Yes.
Never publish a QR code. Notice I use that term, naked and alone. Because you'll fail. You will lose 70 to 90% of your audience. I have 14,000 pieces of data to prove that. Never, never, never publish a QR code naked and alone. About 95% of people do. Because folks don't know what the hell that is. They don't have the app. If you don't do it right, they can't scan it with a tablet. Walmart's got the greatest promotional program in the world, and 20% of their potential market can't scan it because they got tablets. All right. So if you trust me and you follow my education for free, you will always, always, always put a shortened URL along with that QR code, and voila, it becomes a call to action symbol. Because even if my wife doesn't know what that pizza box is with all those square dots and they call it a barcode, or they think they take a picture of it with a camera, and yes, I've been at this for a while, so I know all the negatives, they still recognize HTTP. And in today's world of mobile marketing, where the phones are always connected, people can type in HTTP. And by the way, I can convert a URL that's hundreds of characters long, like a Google Map route that I do for my bike groups, into 5 characters. It's deliver, intentionally misspelled, deliver.com, and then 5 digits. Okay, this is the power and the magic of my partner, who actually is the CEO and founder of deliver.com. And he called me on the phone one day. He says, Jim, I'm David Harper. I don't want you selling my software. That's how the conversation started. He says, I'm the founder and CEO. I don't talk to customers. I get people to do that. But you, I want to talk to, because I can't figure out what the hell you're doing. But I'll tell you this, you've always been honest and you've always been transparent. So what are you doing? So we got into a 2-hour discussion and we became friends. Mm-hmm. And my goal was, David, I'm going to be the best salesperson you never paid. All right. So that'll give you a little background. I know what I'm talking about. I spent 2 years failing, and you can either go on and fail yourself, or you can follow my instructions and you can succeed. Okay. Number 2, bring him to a mobile optimized page. And yes, I do know the techie stuff. You say, oh, I've paid a lot of money and I hired Joshua Alexander and he built a mobile, God, I'm going to get the word wrong. Why did I get a brain? Mobile optimized, mobile. Come on, help me with the word, Bill.
Just mobile optimization, optimized.
No. The other word, mobile responsive. Thank you. That's the key technical, big difference. Mobile responsive WordPress site, okay? You don't want a mobile responsive site. You want a mobile optimized. What that means is you actually throw away the kitchen sink. You say, forget about websites, forget about browsers, because 70% of your audience ain't using it. And start from scratch and build a mobile app from the ground up. And I can build tens of thousands of mobile apps for free. All right. And we'll go into that more. So bring them mobile optimized. Number 3, and here's where everybody else fails. Give them a kiss and a hug, for crying out loud. They just went through the effort to download this app, to learn it. They're scanning your code. You don't want to bring them to your homepage, which is what 95% of the people do. They're going to be gone in under 4 seconds. You want to bring them to something all about them, me. So you want to bring them value, kiss and reward. If you're a restaurant, and they scan the code and they just bought an entree, give them a free dessert. If you're my client, which was Interstate Batteries, if they scan that code, don't bring them to your web page. Bring them to a mobile optimized site with a funny commercial that they actually want to watch. It's a humorous commercial. And then give them 15% off their battery. That's what people want to hear. If you're Walmart, make sure that every register in the world, and 100 million people get these in their hands, make sure that when they scan that app, if there's any item they just bought that's cheaper anywhere in your competitors, you're going to give them a rebate for the difference. That's a kiss and a hug that's huge. If you hit people in their pocketbook, they're going to change their behavior. And then number 3, am I prejudiced? Yeah, but have I proven it? Yes. People are not going to read text. Remember, they don't read in America anymore, but they will watch a video. Okay, they will read infographics. Yeah. So try to be video, and then if not, graphics heavy. That's the rule of 4. And I've got a 2-minute and 34-second video that I can lead you to that is my presentation about this topic to the Google Development Group. So sorry, Peter Piper. Chris,
hey, the Piper.
You were doing it wrong.
Hey, the Piper.
Yeah, there you go. You were doing it wrong.
Well, I agree with you.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, Jim. I am totally on board with your philosophy and your approach to this and how you message it. And I was in that same boat in that meeting. And if you were a fly on the wall, you would be buzzing all over, because they were very resistant to trying to kind of change. I always recommend we do some form of URL or other messaging. We're now actually utilizing logos with the QR code embedded into the logo.
With the
I like
what?
that. I'd like to figure out how to do that.
With the what? No, you don't want to do that, and we'll talk about that. That's the other
cool.
thing that's
Hey,
popular.
Jim.
Yeah.
I know you're very
I
passionate
know.
about this.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I've been there, done that. This is not my first
I know
rodeo.
it's not your first rodeo. It's not mine either.
Okay. I'll give you an example, and then you'll buy into what I'm saying. I was there with the introduction of the first UPC barcode. Okay? Can you hear me, Chris? I can't hear you, Chris.
We can hear fine. Keep on going.
We're
recording.
So I'm hoping you can hear me. Anyway, that was the Kroger food store in the Kenwood Shopping Center in 1974. UPC codes really took off when Sam Walton said, hey, all manufacturers, let me tell you a little story. I'm not scanning your codes at my register because you're not producing them right. The next time I have a failure, it's a $10,000 fine. Any questions, guys? And that revolutionized the industry. So when I was pushing my rope uphill with the call to action symbols that are totally different than barcodes, I knew that I had to turn around a lot of bad misconceptions, a lot of terrible practices. Who would ever mess with a UPC code so it didn't scan so that Sam would charge them $10,000? Nobody would do that. However, when it comes to QR codes, there are tons of people. Oh, make it red, make it green, make your logo in it, put it in the ear. Do all these things to make it less able to scan. Did you forget your objective? Your objective is to communicate to people. You need to get them to take action. So anything you do to mess with that code is not right. And yes, it can be done. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I can do it with the software that David and I have. But I strongly suggest you don't do it. Who cares if the UPC code is ugly? Who cares if the call to action symbol is ugly? It's not what it looks like, it's what it does. And people don't take advantage of what it does at all. So here's the video. 2 minutes and 34 seconds tells you how to do what it does better than you've ever seen in your life. Now, I'm sorry I'm passionate. That's why I led up this discussion with, I'm not cocky. I am here to help you, not to pitch and help me. It's all altruistic, which is why we got to get it done right, okay? Now, my reaction is a lot of people give me all the negatives. So, you know, you've heard the expression, no good deed goes unpunished. Sure. I had a friend who actually talked to Brian Monahan, the vice president of marketing of Walmart, and he created I'm trying to find it. He created a graphic. You can see it over there. He created a graphic because he knew he only had a few seconds to talk to Brian when they were meeting personally. And here's the graphic that he created. Okay, I think you can see that. Remember, this is the guy who wrote the program. So, Chris, if you were saying, boy, Jim's kind of cocky telling me I'm wrong with my marketing, we were trying to tactfully tell Brian he was wrong, and here's how we did it. This friend of mine's a major PR guy out of New York City. He was meeting with Brian Monahan, the person who created the Savings Catcher program. So he said, Jim, here's what I want you to do. And we use Skype all the time. He says, hold up their explanation card that they're giving out at all the cashiers. And so there's Walmart's literature. It says, enter your receipt at walmart.com/savingcatcher. Unbeatable prices guaranteed. So, I mean, if you want to talk to a prospect, make sure you talk about them, their name, their logo, their everything. So we got Brian's attention. We're talking about his Walmart. So he goes, Jim has a great, Jim thinks Walmart.com Savings Catcher is great and wants to help in its success. So just like you, I'm not trying to insult him, tell him he's doing it wrong. I'm trying to show him I can make it better. I have suggestions for Walmart about human-friendly data. Well, my PR guy is not a techie. That's what he called the shortened URL part of the symbol. And that's why I branded call to action symbols. He called it cleaner looking codes. The technology is the more characters you put into the shortened URL, the more characters you put into a QR code, the more the dots become smaller, the less scannable they are, right? So you're getting farther away from your objective. The way that I do it using David's software is that even if it's 200 characters, you're never going to be more than 5 digits after that deliver.com. Therefore, where other people's QR codes won't scan, especially on a small magic cube that I want to talk to you about, right, Chris, we can scan down to like 3/4 of an inch with a 99% reliability. So you don't want to mess with that by putting a logo in the middle of it. The reason you can put a logo in the middle of it is the technical specs mean it's redundant. So you can screw with it and it'll still scan. So the guys who are doing the decorative stuff, they're screwing with you wouldn't screw with a backup system on the Challenger, right? Everything's redundant. You don't want to screw with that. Sorry. Anyway, so as well as increasing traffic, Jim is thrilled that Walmart has taken a huge and necessary step in educating the public about scannable codes. He's been wanting this day to arrive, and now that it's here, but there are still many best practices to talk about. Did you know that codes that are too dense might cause adverse issues on tablets? Well, again, he's not me. I appreciate him having that discussion. I have Brian's cell phone number. I offered to help. He never called me back. So be it. I'm going to move on and help Major League Baseball this year. And I got a 95% confidence that I'll get that done. By the way, I'm going to quit talking a second. I walked into Walmart yesterday. I asked for the assistant manager. I told her stories about how I used to sit in Bentonville and watch Sam come out and put his dime in the coffee machine. And he would die if he saw some of the things going on in their store. Now, I'm very positive. I'm doing this to help people. And I told her this whole thing about the savings catcher. I said, your cashiers don't have a clue. So would you have a meeting with your people and teach them your program, please? Because I have made off the savings catcher now almost $40 since I moved here 90 days ago. Because the way this program works, and they use a proprietary app instead of me, I'm all industry standard. I don't use iPhone. I don't use iPad. I don't use iHouse. I don't use iCar. I don't use iTooExpensive. I use everything that's industry standard. And he did a proprietary app. So be it. He's Walmart. It's his company. He can do what he wants. So if you download their app, the button number 2 is the Savings Catcher program. You just scan their QR code. It is a QR code. It is not a call to action symbol because it doesn't have the shortened URL part of it. If it did, it would become a call to action symbol. But if you scan that code, they already know what you purchased. They're going to go compare against all their competitors. And if there's anything cheaper, they're going to rebate it back to you. Now, again, here's where I can help them. Their rebate processing program sucks, to be blunt. The way it should be is you generate another call to action symbol that you just show your smartphone to the cashier. She scans it and you're done. All right. So it can be the greatest program. And then when I work with you, Chris, on your Magic Cube, and when you read my blog article, you'll see why I get so excited. We can change the world. Now, I'm just some fat guy in Chicago who's got all these ideas and making no money, right? The Google Development Group audience really gave me my start. But I was trying to sell to small business, and I was failing miserably. Okay, I spent 5 years doing this. So then I got smart, and the voice of Major League Baseball, Ed Randall, who shares the office with the obnoxious Howard Stern, happens to be a personal friend. We're both cancer survivors. He adopted me 6 years ago. So he says, Jim, can you help me out? Okay, and he runs the largest promotional program in the history of minor league baseball. He runs 167 events a year, and I help him with that. And I've been trying to get him to use my call to action symbols, but he's a non-techie, so he hasn't done it. This year, his vice president of marketing of his charity, which, here's a plug, Fans for the Cure, the number 4, fansforthecure.org. Send every man you know that's a friend to that site, please. Save their life. So anyway, I'm going to do it with the minor league baseball, then Major League Baseball. That's my 2016 goal. But I've got another friend who's kind of famous. If you were in Chicago and you'd say, do you know Wayne Messmer?
No.
98% chance they would say yes. All right. He is the guy who sings the national anthem for the Cubs. He used to sing for the now world championship Blackhawks. He doesn't anymore because he owns the Wolves. And we've been friends for like 10 years. I told you I'm deeply involved in charities. Long story short, 10 years ago, he put on a one-man act for my kids and gave all the proceeds to my kids. And the charity I was involved in is Rainbows for All God's Children. So Wayne is many, many, many things. His business, he's got a very successful financial consulting business. But he's a professional master of ceremonies. And I'm Catholic. And I go to a Catholic men's conference every year for 10 years at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, and Wayne is the master of ceremonies. And I've been bugging him, when are you going to do this play again? When are you going to do it again? I've been bugging him for 10 years. Last year, he said, all right, Jim, I give up. I'm going to become a knight in the Knights of Columbus. Go talk to Bob over there, and I'm going to do it. And I said, all right, I'm going to do the video production. I'm going to do all the promotion. The only thing, if pro bono, did I say free? Can you spell free? And I said, the only thing I want out of this is I want the statistics. Okay, I can measure whether they're holding the phone this way or this way, whether they came from mobile or desktop, whether they got an i something or they got the real Android. I can measure everything except shoe size. And if I have that data and show people how to run a successful call to action symbol campaign, I can launch because you've got the kind of visibility that I need. And we agreed, and I did it, and I can prove it, and I show you the video I created. I'll give you the stats, okay, offline. We drove 1,800 butts and seats in under 6 weeks. That's hugely successful using call to action symbols. Had we used QR codes, we'd probably sit here and have a cup of coffee with the 3 people who showed up. So I'm ashamed you don't have any audio. I'm pretty much done. And here is my passion. I told you about the book. Now I'm going to give you the quote that I wrote down because they haven't memorized it. My favorite friend is Coach Papa. His name's Tim Stewart. We've gone through this journey together for 5 years. God bless him for putting him in my life. But he's got the greatest quote I ever heard. Until the value is understood, people do not understand call to action symbols. Until the value is understood, any expense or inconvenience is too much. Once the value is understood, no expense will stop them. Video clip. I just posted the video clip in. Let me try. If you want to see it live, let's see if we can. I haven't done this. Let's see if we can run the video on my second screen. We probably can.
Yes, well, he's warming that up. Is your company Halo? H-A-L-O?
I am a nerd. Until the value is understood, that's coming across. Any expense or inconvenience is too much. Once the value is understood, no expense will stop you. Thank you, Tim Stewart, Coach Papa. Now, I got to bring the screen over. This is going to be interesting. I got to bring the screen over here. And there's the Vimeo. And here, let's see if the audio will come through. Why don't I share it on Facebook today? Hello. We'll just go now. N-O-W, share. And by the way, I got a video to teach you how to share on steroids on Facebook, and that's also free. All right, let's see if we can play this. Start and blow it up into full screen. I'll give you the audio.
I did want to say while you're doing that.
No, I'll shut up.
Well, I wanted to say that on this, it was highly effective because
it's not a barcode. You don't take a picture of it, and people cannot figure out how to use it just because you stick it in front of their face.
I remember seeing on a billboard.
Do I take a picture of it?
I won't.
Where
show
does
the
it
case
take me? Why would I want to go there?
Is there another Halo with a case study on that?
Well, if you
What's in it for me?
Interject, I'd be glad to share that.
Despite the fact that 2 out of 3 people walking in the U.S. today have the most powerful technology known to mankind right in the palm of their hand, they don't know what a QR code is, they're unable to scan them, or they're unwilling due to a previous disappointing experience. Oh, I don't have a scanning app.
Well,
it's okay if you have an internet connection. If it's a call to action symbol, you just type in deliver.com. So there's the industry best practices. I give that graphic away. You can download it. Let's change the world.
Let's let Chris talk for a couple of seconds because I sort of looked up on Hello.
And by the way, these codes don't work anymore because I closed that account. We can get it back up again. I get people elected, by the way. Here's the whole educational thing. I'll talk to you more about that.
Is that a video running?
There's a school from kindergarten to grad school. When you get into grad school, you'll learn about magic cubes. I had a Facebook likes generator that is real. Facebook changed their thing. No text on board. I'm all about no texting. Education. Apple got started by going to schools. I did too.
Come on back in, Chris. I was hoping Chris would.
It does a lot more than take you to homepage. document download, PowerPoint presentation, translate Spanish to English, play an audio file. How about for candidates, a donation landing page? And then here's an example of each of them. I have the invitation for this Blab as a download. PowerPoint, play a video, course number 1 way to communicate. Here's my person I got elected, Mary McClellan, county clerk. She had a donation landing page and email address capture and a whole lot more. So you just saw 1/3. Oh, only kids use this, old farts don't. Yeah, 1/3 of them are over 45. Oh, that was old technology. It's gone. It was years ago. Tell you what, the growth is 587%. Is your business growing that badly? So share it. It used to be a download. There's my Skype. Give me a call. I wonder if that came off. So now I'm going to...
We saw the video. How small can you make the QR code?
Exit full screen. Put it on hold. We'll see if that came across. Okay, we're up back in the Blab. I'm going to close.
Get yourself down. Got interesting little discussion there. I wonder. I don't know a lot about QR codes.
No audio. Let me change.
I can hear you. Interesting. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Interesting. There you go. You're back.
I can't hear you. Let me try to refresh once.
Just refresh. It should come back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Now, usually I go to about...
I can't hear you. So this technology is not ready for prime time.
No, it's still in beta, but it does a lot of really
good what should I do, Bill? I can't hear you.
Okay, just do this. Go up on the top on your little camera and check it. There's a little camera next to start on your address bar.
Can we watch the 2-minute video? So I did that.
Pull it down and say what your microphone is.
Thank you, Ed. Glad you caught a piece of it. Being rude to your guest. I don't mean to be. I've already explained that, Ed. I am passionate. There's a difference between passionate when you're trying to help somebody and rude when you're trying to do it for yourself. And hopefully the people who have stayed in here have gotten the benefit.
You got a message, you want to get it out. It's got to be...
I don't know what to do, Bill. Can you write something on a piece of paper and tell me what to do?
Reboot.
Because I have no audio from you.
Reboot, and just reboot. Try it. Just restart or reboot. Either
suggestions.
Get out of Chrome. Remove out of Chrome.
I'm going to try to exit. I'm going to get out of Firefox, and I'm going to get back.
Back on, and that's the first thing to do. And then after that, you'd reboot. Would be the easiest thing to do. So, okay. Learning management systems, LMS. Okay, folks, this is Bill. Hey, thank you. By the way, I can talk to, if she's listening, which I think she is, Christine. Christine, I was looking at your Twitter account, and it says that your Twitter account doesn't exist anymore in your handle. So did you change it? It's interesting that you come on here. So let's look at that. And by the way, you're welcome to come on the show one of these days when you're ready. It's kind of fun. I've got to keep my funnel filled with people to come on the show. We'll do just a blab and with some notes. So if I go timelines. Timelines is on Bluehost still. Links. So Jim is having a rough time. I'll let him try to come back up a little bit. In fact, I'm going to pause this. On your presentation, I looked up, Chris Pipper has Hallow, which I don't know if that's his main company or his primary company. He's the owner. I've got his sheet here. there's another Hallow, and they actually have a big article about QR codes. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've read many. I have not seen that one. Like I said, about 90% of the folks are, they have the best intention in the world. And the only reason I can be cocky is I've made all those failures. Okay. I've done all the mistakes.
I think it's tough to understand the QR code. I understand taking the picture and getting the photo out and doing it.
Yeah, it's not a picture.
No, it's not a picture, but you just take the QR code. I put that scan code in, like you said. Now, you gave me these three scan codes. It says my blog, invitation,
right,
and Blab. So how do I use those? If I open them up, they're PDFs on my computer.
Do you have they're PDFs, okay, but do you have an application? You're using iPhone.
I actually read your email.
All right. So what is the application you're using?
It's called Scan.
On your iPhone?
Yeah, it's just called Scan.
Scan.
It's the one you said to get.
Okay, it's a good one. So scan this. Start the app and scan it.
It's on right now.
No, scan it.
Oh, it did it right away. Yeah.
Bingo.
It says open. That's impressive. I think you got to do a demo to get people's attention.
Oh, no question. And I'm sorry about the technical thing. Now,
Scan wants to open in Blab. Scan wants to open Blab. Wow.
Yeah. I was leading people to your Blab site with this.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Now let's try this
one, folks. I just did that. I could do it over here too. I did it off the Blab site. Wow. I'm impressed. So open up General Blab, and then we are on the top. So that's impressive. Now, to me, if you start with some kind of demo with two people and you grab their attention, then they'll come in and listen. And then you can't put too much out all at once because they just don't grab it. I don't grab everything.
Yeah.
I was kind of lost, but
got to do your homework.
Well, no, I did do my homework. I read your email, and I actually have these. Oops.
No, I mean, and again, I'm not being insulting. That video, if people would spend 3 hours on that 2-minute and 34-second video, they'd have all the answers.
Well, let's put the link on your page. Was that on your notes, that video? I don't think it was. It might have been.
Did you scan this one?
Oh, let me scan that one. Well, right now the Blab app came up, so let me go back to the scanner. And I need to go back. So the Blab app right now, the Scan app has that up right now, but I actually went into Blab. So if I go back, I'll go back again. I guess I'll be able to scan again here. So I just put that up like this.
Start the scan from the beginning.
I don't even have to touch a button. I just hold it up like that.
That's it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
More. And open. And that one open. It just gave me a bunch of code like that.
No, it shouldn't. You weren't exited out of the app all the way.
Okay. Completely exit out of the app and go back on.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. What it did, my fault. I put the wrong one up. That's a download. You just got me downloading a file to your phone.
What phone did I just download to my phone?
Read it.
Well, I just shut it off, so stick it back up there again.
No, I'm going to do a different one, then I'll come back. Try this one.
Okay. It says more and open. I'm going to go open. And yeah, that's your website.
All right, but read that article. What that is, and I'll be very brief.
So what's it cost to buy one of these? Buy one of the scan QR codes.
They're free. You don't have to buy them.
How do you get them?
Well, I can, again, offline, you and I will talk. I'll introduce you to my friend David Harper, because with your influence and popularity, and especially with your election coming up, you really need to get into this with both feet.
We do two things. Yeah.
You really need to get into this with both feet. Oh, you said hold the other one up.
Yeah, that's the secret
download.
Of the story.
Here's the
now
download.
You know the secret.
Here's my invitation. Remember all the trouble we were having driving traffic to your site? Here's my invitation. I could have put this on a street.
Let me try something here. Now, if I'm on the details right now. If I just want to go back to the straight scanning, I have to go back on this app and then put it back up. So I'll put this up here. That was really quick. That's pretty impressive. What if I hit more on this? And it gave me a URL on here to a scan to a site. So we go open here. Okay, that's a bunch of code on there. Bring the offline world to your online presence.
It's not code. It's a text file.
Oh, it's a text file. Yeah.
That's the invitation.
Error. I had a right day, but the wrong data. I'm speaking this Friday. Okay. All right. Hey, I got to go check on my dogs again, but keep on going. I'm going to pause real fast. I'll be right back. Up too well. So anyway, I'll start looking. So what's the next step? You have scan because how do we apply those? What do we do with them? I could see him putting them on a flyer or a piece of political mail. Are you there?
Yeah. You can, it's mainly for print, right? So any message that you're going to print, call me on the phone. I will do it for you for free. Did I say free? I will give you a call to action symbol so that people can engage with it. That's why I'm going to put up this graphic again, which is somebody challenged me. You said it again, Bill, and as I told you, I listen 3 times faster than I talk. You said, Jim, you're giving them too much information. It's got to be simple, right? Well, do you know how many people have told me that? Can you imagine how many people have told me that? And my answer to that is not smartass, but this John Colaris is a very good friend of mine. So I said, hey, John, can I get a master's degree in 3 days? I don't want to spend any more time than that. His answer was no. So if you want to earn, you need to invest. That simple. Right. I have laid everything out. If you do want to get a return on investment, just invest. What am I asking you to invest? Money? Buy something from me? No.
No. I understand what you're saying.
Invest your time. It's all laid out there. I'll teach you.
Over 2 years learning a whole new platform. I used to use the Exchange server and new systems, and for the military especially. I learned this new online world of WordPress and some code, and it's a long process. Even the online money business in politics. I've been in politics for a long, long time, and still direct targeted mail to high propensity voters is the way to go.
No question.
If you can lead them to a website with just a quick picture, I guess that would be good if you put that on. But you can also put a website address where they can just type it in too.
Now on paper. And my joke is I pick up a piece of paper with your website printed on it, right? And I go, I can't press it. Yeah. I can't get this hot link to work. You understand what I'm saying?
You need a smartphone to get the QR code.
Bingo! It turns your piece of paper. That's why my phrase is bringing the offline world. Here's the offline world. Bringing the offline world to your online presence. That's what I do. In the most simplest form, that's what I do.
Yeah, I got 2 more messages here. So what can I answer for you? So let me change the title. You know how to change the title on these? The topic?
No.
So I just put, if you go down below, there's a little thing, you can change the topic as you go in. So how to
I'm not the host.
The offline world.
Yeah, it's right on my lower third, by the way.
Bring the offline world to the online world?
To your online presence.
I'm trying to think how to communicate. I'm not the best. I know guys, it's called copy guys who really know what they're doing to bring attention and to go step by step. Like I'm creating some courses right now, and I've created one course which basically said before you go up on iTunes or create a podcast, go and record several shows and put up on YouTube. Well, Blab came along and changed that. We used to use Skype and call recorder. So the bottom line is just figuring out how to present.
Well, I know how. This was a different format, right? You run your show differently. Andy and I did a blob where I gave him the 10 questions, and he was prompting me sort of like, what is it, Teller and who's his partner?
Penn and Teller. I've actually met him in Las Vegas, where I'm in Nevada.
Because the way that I did it with Coach Papa when we did it live in a network meeting is we started out and we said, okay, and I was going to do this in Blab, say to your audience, please type, when we were live, please type S in the message box for how many have smartphones, right? So we get some audience participation. Right. Then please type Y. How many of you have a QR code, quick response code reader scanner installed? And we get them involved, right?
Yeah, that's
and
good.
Then number 3 is type an N for people who do not have the app icon on their home screen or cannot scan it in under 3 seconds. That'll be enlightening. Type a W if you've been in a Walmart store in the last 3 weeks. Type a $sign if you signed up for their savings catcher program. Type 123 for the number of Walmart receipts in your wallet, right? That's how I was going to open the show. But when that lady jumped in, we sort of lost control of the show, and I didn't want to be rude. and
Yeah.
to try to lead you. I'm the guest. I'm not the host.
Well, yeah, she came in. It was sort of just open and pepper, but I could have shut this down and just had you give like what I should have done is if you're going to give a presentation, so you know on Blab, if you tell me we would lock this down like this and let you just give a presentation, give it a 5-10 minute presentation, and then develop your process so you have full focus. And you need to,
Thank you, Bill. This is a lady that I highly admire. I am so honored that she's here. Okay, Kristen Drysdale. If you want to talk about somebody other than Anthony Robbins, this lady is doing it, and she's doing it right. You know, I have a big bullshit snifter on the internet because 99% of the people don't deliver value. This lady does. So thank you, Kristen, for being here. We are so honored. I did have Pam Hendrickson, by the way, who was Anthony Robbins' vice president for 18 years. I thought she was going to be here today. I thought Joe Walsh, senator, was going to be here. There's probably 10 top politicians that I've worked with. Let me give you my political story.
okay, go ahead. We've had a lot of folks come through.
All right. There were 3 politicians in McHenry County, a county of 400,000 people. One, and I'm going to use first names for the people where it's negative and full name where it's positive. The guy running for sheriff, the most highly contested office, I highly admire as a human being, and I wanted to see him get elected. He was in the FBI for 20 years or whatever, and I only had 30 minutes to make my presentation at a coffee shop. 30 minutes. I do know how to speak concisely. So I opened up and saying, Andy, I became a drug pusher, because he was famous for reducing heroin addiction in Woodstock. And then I wanted to explain is that I have 2 drugs of choice. One is a Facebook likes generator, and the other is a movies, mobile optimized video site. And I said, these are 2 products that I sell, both of them for under $50 that can change your world. I can get you elected. So then I had to go 30 minutes explaining that, and I gave him my headline, right, to build under. I can bring the offline world to your online presence using call to action symbols as the entrance ramp for the information highway. Then I did my best job in 30 minutes to get the story across. I did follow up with him, and he said, thanks for your time, Jim, but I already have a social media person. Shame on me, Jim. You didn't get the communication done, and I'm supposed to be the communication guy. So it's not his fault. It's my fault. Unfortunately, Andy lost the race by 18 votes. Now, there are a lot of things in getting elected, right? So I'm no dummy saying, oh, call the action symbol is a cause and effect. You use it, you don't get elected. You know, I'm not that stupid. However, I would bet my house I could have gotten 18 votes and got him elected. Okay, next person. Mary McClellan, who's the assistant state's attorney for Illinois, is running for the county clerk's office, the highest office in the county. She's not a techie, but at least she trusted me. I did the whole thing for her. She got elected. Bingo. Okay. She didn't even know what it was. We got her elected. Then there was an incumbent, first name Nick. He was the one I was trying to introduce you to in email. I really highly respect him.
Let me ask you a quick question. She's a county recorder, which is an administrative office. I'm very familiar. I got a county recorder elected once.
Excuse
me.
Not the highest. I didn't say quarter. Clerk.
Clerk, county recorder, county clerk are generally the same thing.
Well, it's the most powerful position other than the administrator in our county system.
You've got supervisors or commissioners who are the elected officials who make the decisions, and that's an elected administrative position.
Well, you should see the way McHenry works. By the way, I know the whole McHenry County Board.
That's not the point. I'm just saying, how did the QR code help her get
we're going to stop using that term. QR code could have never got her elected. Nobody would use it. Doesn't work. QR codes are terrible.
Okay, so that's one of your points. The problem is most people like me understand what a QR code is.
Right, they do. That's why I never use the term.
Say call to action. There's no
call to action symbol. They don't know, but at least it's not negative. I'd rather start with somebody who doesn't know than start with somebody who's got a negative first impression.
Call to action symbol.
Bingo. Google it.
I think I did, and yep. I got that company.
No, not if you did the whole word. Call to action symbol, but that's okay. You've been busy.
Action, SYM.
Symbol.
Okay, call to action symbol. Call to action buttons. Call to action symbol. Call to action. It's going to go to buttons first. Kind of interesting. Button.
No, just hashtag call the number 2 action symbol, all one thing, no spaces, enter, and the whole page is there in front of you. Here, I'll paste it in here.
Yeah, I was just Googling the words. Most people Google words, not like a big long phrase. There it is.
Okay, and I'm going to give you my second
Rebel
one.
mouse. Rebel mouse. Yeah.
But we're getting off topic. So back to getting the person elected. The third person's name is Nick. And again, I want to introduce you to the guys he works with. You may consider using him for your campaign. And I gave you all their credentials. Did I type that right? I did. So Nick was very open-minded. Matter of fact, one of his platform was that he was going to increase the use of technology in the county government. So that was kind of a plank in his platform. Mm-hmm. So I said, wow, I respect talking to somebody who knows what they're talking about. And let me work with you on your campaign. I know you're running against Mary. No, excuse me, he was an incumbent. I said, I know that you're there, but I can help you get reelected. Well, he didn't take me up on my, quote, free offer at the time. And guess what? He lost his job. And I feel terrible about that. I feel terrible about 2 people that I highly respect are now losing their jobs when if they had just trusted me, they could have been done. Now, Wayne Messmer trusted me, right? He gave me a challenge. He trusted me. He let me do it. We did it. I have all the statistics to prove it. So you can take all these negative comments about QR codes and I'm insulting the audience and all that stuff. The bottom line is, did it work? Did we make money? Did we reach the goal? Now, Walmart, I still am very positive. Their savings catcher program is the best watch my lips, the best marketing program I've heard in my entire life. Yet 95% of people don't have a clue. I walked into the local store. I called the assistant manager up yesterday and I said, I'm going to come across as nasty. I'm really here to help. And I set the stage and I told her that, the background and all that. And I said, do me a favor. Do you a favor. Your next training meeting, train your cashiers about your program. They don't have a clue. They do not have a clue. And she admitted. All right. Now, you said Verizon or somebody said Verizon. Here's my last story because I educate by stories. I'm going to show you a last story and 3 graphics, right? And we'll show you how the graphics are more powerful than my words. Let me do the graphics.
Anyway, Jim, we have to wrap up the next 3 to 5 minutes. What we'll do is let's schedule on like at about 10:15 after one of my shows. Let's bring you on, lock it down, let you give that presentation again.
Can you see this?
You've got to, I've had a challenge the last few years. I started in Toastmasters here, trying to get people to understand podcasting and netcasting. And
all right. I commissioned this. I own it.
Gatling guns. I know the story. I know the story behind the story there too.
All right. So this is Custer. He didn't listen. He says, I don't have time to talk. I got a war to fight. And we all know how that turned out, right?
Yeah. He actually had several Gatling guns up in Reno and Benteen, or he left them behind.
So that's nasty. Now let's do it more positive. Prior to the show, I did my homework. You are important to me, Bill. I think you're starting to get that feeling. I did a lot of homework this week. You've been my full-time job. And how much have you paid me, by the way?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But I'm very, very cautious about paying anybody in this industry. I pay too much for software right now and developer licenses, which is way too much. One thing that happens
about free. I heard your story about in InfoSoft, not InfoSoft.
Oh yeah, that's my most expensive product, and it's a tough one.
Listen, don't I? Anyway, this is one graphic. You really never lived until you've done something for someone who can never repay you.
Right.
And that's what I'm all about. And here's the other one about, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink.
Right.
The story is you can. You just take a big vacuum cleaner and you put it right up under their tail. But no, on them. Oh, there we go.
Speaking of, you know what this is? My sister introduced this to me. It's a little air thing, sis. Just a little air thing like that.
Oh, that's neat. So here was the one that I was going to challenge myself. I love this. My daughter, be the change you wish to see in the world. You've seen the lead a horse to water. Oh, bingo. This was the, Jim, there. This was the challenge I was applying to myself for today. You know, I need to change my presentation in a way that I make people thirsty, because the other way is not working. But you heard Chris, and you heard me be complimentary. I highly respect him. I listened to him. I was, we were singing in the same choir, yet you heard him talk. Yeah, I do this QR code down here, and the first example he shows me is wrong. Now,
Do you know, go ahead. Do you know Chris? Have you met Chris?
No, never did.
He's going to be on Tuesday next week, I think. I should look.
I will be there.
Hi, Nick.
But I want to meet him offline. Meeting you has been my big win for the year 2016. Meeting him is going to be also.
So anyway, he sounds like an interesting guy. I need to get back into that kind of business, getting some
Kristen,
of the
thank
other
you.
businesses.
Kristen didn't think I was insulting my audience. That makes me feel better.
The only thing I would say is on the intro, what we should have done is locked it down and said, here, give your presentation with your little video clips. I think it did real well. Again, I'm not a big fan because I use the Mac portion and bring stuff up on Blab right now because of the, you did a good job with the presentation, getting the slides through. Well, we do have to finish this up in a few minutes. If anybody else has any questions. Hi, Nick. Nick, you want to come up and check anything in your systems? See how it's all working? There he is. Nick has the Chromebook. This is pretty amazing. He is using the Chrome. Hey, Nick, you got the Chromebook.
Hey, Bill.
Now you're using the Chromebook sound right now. Yeah, your sound's not as good. Your Chromebook sound right now, but when you use your mic, it comes in.
Yeah, I don't have the mic on.
And your bandwidth may not be as strong where you are now as where it was. Can you see out the window with your Chromebook at the ocean?
Yeah, you want to see?
Yeah, let me see. I want to see what it looks like.
Okay.
Laguna Beach. It's just hold it stable.
Oh, wait. Just let me
go outside. I want to see it outside.
Can you see that?
You stay still. Freeze for a second. Oh, beautiful. Unbelievable. That's as beautiful. That is, you know what you should do? Honestly, you might be able to do this from outside. You just do part of your show from outside with that in the background.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
unbelievable. Yeah, you're up on what street are you on? You're up the hill a little
Driftwood.
bit. Oh yeah, I know Driftwood. In
One above where
Beach. So nice. What a view. Wow. You need to somehow get that in the background, put some front light on you and have that stabilized in the background. Your bed, I can see I would put my bed against the other wall and get that view. Wow.
Well, the bed is fixed and I wanted to change it, but they wouldn't let me.
Wow. That's amazing. Hey, Jim, we're sort of wrapping up for the day. We're just chit-chatting at the end. I always like to do a little bit of soft blab. Well, there he goes. Jim's got his outside. It's fun to do.
Wow, look at that.
That's nice, too. He's down in Arizona. Nick, you're in Laguna along the coast, and I'm in Reno where we have some heck of a weather coming in. Grandma's here, too.
When I say that mountain comes into the backyard, I mean, it literally does. It's right there at my fence.
Nick, your colors are amazing right now. I forget what. Yeah, Reno's a good town. Hey, Nick, what is your? I got these goofy glasses too. Tent. What is your? What was that Chromebook again? I got to write it down.
It's the Acer Chromebook 15, and it's a 15-inch screen. I mean, $272 out the door, tax, license.
It's amazing too. And all of the other things you can do for free on the software on that. Get good at Google Apps. What he's doing is he's using with these codes. Everyone knows them as QR codes.
Can you scan that, Nick? Dr. Nick?
If you have a scanner on.
I don't have a scanner.
See? That's why I do the survey first, Bill.
Yeah. I didn't have a scanner either until you sent me an email. I put the scanner on. You know what you did right when you sent the scanner? It says it only takes 2 or 3 seconds to install it, which it doesn't take long. It installs right.
Here's how I made the sales pitch. I walked into Verizon. I said, "Hi, I'm Jim Bannon. I'm with Budget Video for Biz, and you guys ought to be shot." That was my introduction.
Nice.
And the guy looked at me, and I said, you're selling the most powerful technology known to mankind, and you're sending people out the door. and they don't have the number one most powerful application in the world on it, it'd be like an auto dealer letting somebody get by without windshield wipers. Would you do me a personal favor and make sure that you load an app? It's free. Load an app on every phone that you sell and teach them how to scan at least one thing. Fair enough. That'll help you. That'll help the world. And by the way, as an example to teach them, why don't you have them scan this?
It's pretty, Nick, we'll do that later because he's got to install the app.
Okay.
But I was pretty impressed with, I took a picture of that off my phone and it opened up some sites, and that was pretty neat. I like that. I like to play with that. I can do a short advertising for you and maybe hold up a code and show people how to do that. Now, tomorrow night on Sunday night, we have okay, I want to do the lineup. I think we've got a good lineup the next couple days. Tomorrow, we're starting something new tomorrow at 9:00. We're going to have WP Tonic, which is one of the top WordPress shows in the world, and Timelines as a joint show, because I do the engineering and behind the scenes work on that. So we're going to do it jointly. Jonathan's still going to probably take the lead, but we're going to open it up after the first 30 minutes for the podcast. We're going to open it up and review people's websites. And I wouldn't have any problem putting that up and playing around with it. The next day we have Meet the Voter. Jim, Nick, I just dropped in Meet the Voter. Have you seen the updated Meet the Voter site in the last day or so?
No.
Do me a favor, click it right now. I just dropped in and see it's about 3 above my name.
Ha!
So that's for Sunday night, and we've had up to 2,700 people follow that. So Sunday night, Meet the Voter is going to be campaign ads. Sunday live at 5:30 Pacific. We're actually and then we'll go to YouTube at 6:00 Pacific. There's some ads up there. We got a lot to talk about. And then if you go underneath, you say the tentative lineup. So the first lineup from 5:30 to 6:30 is going to be me as a moderator, Dr. Nicholas Hernandez, Sam Brooks, and then Heather Ann Havenwood. And then at 6:30, Jonathan's going to take over as moderator. Heather Ann's going to stay on. Then we have 2 open seats. I'm going to come back on at 7:30 with Jonathan, and we'll finish up the show. So that is the show Sunday night after we watch Meet the Voter. And I watched last night. I was doing a show and I was watching 2 streams, both of Trump and of the Republican forum. I thought the Republican debate was very boring last night.
Yeah, this ought to be a great show, Bill, because
yeah, go ahead.
Because Iowa will already have been done, and
no, we're doing that
this
Sunday
night.
night.
You're talking this Sunday, right? Oh, that's right.
It's night before. It should be
night before
exciting.
Iowa. Oh, I can hardly wait for the
Our predictions will be critical. We'll get down to the percentages on our predictions.
Wow. I am so looking forward to this voting.
If Bernie gets people out, he's going to win. If he gets them out. And he's good about getting folks out. We've seen that in his rallies. That's why I think he's going to probably win, because he's going to get people out.
Yeah.
In Iowa.
Yeah, the millennials are out in force, and they're on fire. It's going to be an interesting situation there. I can hardly wait.
It'll be a good show. So we've got 2 good shows this week, and we've got a tech show at 9:00 and a tech and WordPress. And then we've got Meet the Voter, 6:00 Pacific. And by the way, are you getting any this? I just got a text from New York. They're all back in New York now.
Oh, but Gigi's with you?
Yeah, she's with me. She's up already.
The dogs?
Yeah, the dogs are crazy this morning. They weren't. Now they're all mellowed out, but they were crazy. Oops, I just put full screen. I didn't want to do what I just did. So view. I need to go to actual size. View. Exit full screen. Exit full screen. Full screen looks pretty nice on here, but it's been crazy. So Jim, we're going to finish up. Nick, it's good that you came on. Have you been on other blabs? Come up on some other blabs?
Yeah, I tried yesterday to go to an art site, and they were very happy that I logged on, but they only had 1 minute left, and so we didn't really get to chat much.
What would it take to get the people you're working with, these 2 different groups of people in Laguna Beach, to come up on a blab and talk about art?
Well, that's what my plan is, and I'm trying to get them. They all say they want to, but they're fairly busy. They're working artists, and they've got several projects. One's in Las Vegas right now, and I want some top professionals to come on and have a Blab, a site where we can chat about state of art.
You start with anybody initially in Blab and start. We need to hook you up on a stream, and just a simple Blab stream will be on your page. Ask Hernandez, and you've got the iTunes. We need to get a page set up.
Yeah, because through the colleges that I work at, I've got access to some great professors and some incredible artists, and I'd love to get a Blab out in terms of what, to discuss what the current state of art is and what art is really about, because so many people really.
Well, I'll help you get that going for just a Blab. And sort of like I do. You have to learn, how I email and I lay out that page.
Right.
We'll set up askhernandez.com because we have that site. We'll set that up. Your handle is Ask Hernandez, and we'll say Ask Hernandez about art. It'll all be about art.
Yeah, I would love to do that, Bill. But right now I'm opening up 2 galleries at once.
Yeah,
which is rather audacious.
Well, you just do it to practice, like you're coming up now, and you just get people to come up. You don't have to do it every day, of course. Just do it. Just show people. You see, Jim, like you're talking about the codes. I'm going to say QR code, the call to action, because people know this. Sometimes it's hard to get people to adapt. Like, look at a lot of people aren't using Blab yet. Blab's a powerful platform to do stuff. It takes time. And Nick, you're seeing that down there. I'm sure that, people aren't, once you get set up with a system, it's pretty darn easy. Once you get going, you have the Chromebook with the apps and your good view. So you're communicating now. You got your email.
Yeah. I love it. I've fallen in love with Blab.
Hey, going back, did you look at we just need to start that art show, just talking. We don't want to do a podcast until we're really ready, until we're really squared away. And then you start a podcast. Did you look at that link for the show on Sunday?
Yes. I just went there.
And you see how it's all laid out. And you can email it to people, send it to people, say, hey, do you want, those open slots in the back are for the new people.
A wooden butterfly.
A wooden butterfly. Oh, I see. Yeah. That's different. When did you make that one?
Oh, some years back, I took it to Burning Man, put it on my little scooter.
Yeah. So anyway, you could do that. Yeah, a lot of things. Hey, I'm going to cut off for now because I got to get to work.
Okay.
Got to actually pay the bills, make the money, put the money in the bank for the weekend, get things lined up for next month. And I've got to work on my training too. So we had 88 people come through. I'm always confused. It says, I guess there's 6 watching live right now. That's right. That's what that means. And always looking for folks to sign up. Let me drop my link in again. Sign up. And who else are we going to get? Now, you could bring your little system like it is right now, Nick, and you could go with somebody when we have our meeting and practice. And they could do an interview by just using your system, your microphone and your little computer in front of them. As long as we have Wi-Fi, you just have to hook to the Wi-Fi wherever they are. So you need to go out to other people right now, experiment with Wi-Fi, and then come on the backside of the show. So maybe we can interview some artists even on Meet the Voter. On Timelines.
Well, one of the galleries that I'm opening,
the owner of your place would be smart of those art stores if they do just a 30-minute interview and then they get a little SEO out of it.
Yeah, and one of them is right on Main Beach, where I could have set it up so that you've got a beautiful shot of Main Beach.
Oh, yeah, I have to have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and there's Wi-Fi there too.
Okay, we'll experiment with it. We'll test it, and you can always come up and test it ahead of time with me. Just call me on the phone. I'll usually buy a computer, and we'll get up and test that.
We're right next door to Starbucks, and they've got a very strong Wi-Fi right there.
Take the Starbucks Wi-Fi. That'd be cool. And today we're using the Starbucks Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. I'd love to do that. So just bring it over there. Let's test it. Bring it to the store. You don't have to bring your mic initially. Just bring it there, test it, and then we'll bring the mic later to get the good sound.
Okay.
Dr. Nick?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a Skype name?
He does.
No.
Yeah, you do. Oh, Skype. We need to set you up. I'll set you up on our Skype name.
What's the best way to reach you?
LagunaNick@gmail. And
his Twitter is Ask Hernandez.
Yeah, Twitter is Ask Hernandez.
So friend him on Ask Hernandez. You can click him right now. Just click on him.
I did, and I just followed him.
And then you follow on his Twitter. Nick, you follow back, and he can IM you. It's a real easy system back and forth, instant message. You can see those messages.
I followed you too, Jim. Great.
And now you can message each other. Nick, you go up into your messages, and you can see your messages.
Okay.
That's the most powerful, easiest way. Hey, Nick, do you know what this thing is?
He doesn't have messages turned on.
We can fix that. You want Nick? Let's come up. You got 2 seconds to come up on the Zoom.
Sure.
Let me look at your system. So I'm going to start right now.
Zoom on here.
The show. I'm going to start a video Zoom. Go ahead and I'll just email you. I think that's the easiest. So stay online. I'll just email you right now instead of sending you the code. So I'm going to email Nick before you leave
Hi,
here.
Robin.
Nick.
Also wanted to say hi to Kristen.
Boone and Nick, yeah. So I'll look at your Twitter account. Go show you Twitter a little bit. So we're up. So I just sent you an email. Go ahead and open that up and let's get up on Zoom together. We had this problem. Could we use Zoom on the Chromebook? I forgot. No.
Remember, it wouldn't take Zoom.
Let's try it again. Let's just try, see what happens.
Okay.
Right now.
But where did you send it?
I sent it to your Gmail.
Which one? Timelines of Success?
It came from me, Bill Conrad.
I got to go to Gmail. Okay.
It's your Gmail. You know what? I could drop it in here too. The Zoom code.
Okay, got it.
The other way I could do that too is I can go up here and I can copy the code and drop it in here.
Yes, it says unsupported operating systems.
Yeah, I wonder if there's an app in Zoom you can put in the browser. I need to check that. But we know we can do a Google Hangout too.
I'm going to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Bill.
All right,
and
Jen.
Nick, I would be glad to help you for free if we can talk on the phone sometime. And here's what I envision. Do you physically show your art in a gallery?
Yeah. I'm a professor from Chapman University, and I have a lot of public art there, on campus. And, I do lectures at various colleges. And right now I'm opening, my partners and I are opening one gallery in Laguna Beach. And just out of sheer luck, a great gallery got dropped in our laps just about a week ago, right on Main Beach at one of the most perfect spots in town. So our gallery down south end of Laguna is called Woods Cove Fine Art. And so now we've got Woods Cove Fine Art North, which is by Main Beach, and Woods Cove Fine Art South.
Okay, what I'm going to ask you to do, because I'm going to get off here, just envision something for a moment, okay? I'm going to paint a verbal picture for you. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Let's say that the head of ABC News is a best buddy of yours, and he's going to produce a TV commercial for you about your best piece of artwork, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just, for argument's sake, saying it's your face in front of the camera, explaining all the years that it took for you to make this painting and how passionate you are about it. And you got me? In a, let's say, 30-second video commercial.
Well, I'm a sculptor. So, yeah, a sculptor.
Okay, sculptor, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
So now somebody walks up in front of your artwork, and there's this little sign. Doesn't matter what it is. It's this tiny little sign. And they hold not their Androids, but they hold their smartphone up to that little sign.
Uh-huh.
And guess what? You're sitting there talking to them about that artwork. Wouldn't that be hugely powerful for your new gallery?
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Now, as I close, that's what the New York Zoo does. Okay, they've got a band shell, which is empty. They got a little signpost. They got a flat sign, and they got a call to action symbol on it. People walk up with a smartphone, and when they scan it, there is the New York Symphony Orchestra playing in the band shell.
Wow.
Okay, just think about it. We'll talk. Thank you again, Bill.
Thanks,
I'm out of here.
Jim, well, I'll bring you back after one of the shows. You do a dedicated 10-minute presentation. Maybe we can help you on that presentation just to come across to get people more into it. Because when you do scan it, when you put it up there and you do that scan test, that was really impressive. So I'd say, hey, everyone, go ahead and first thing, go to your smartphone and download this app while we're doing this presentation. It only takes a couple seconds. At the end, we'll show you how impressive it really is when you hold it up.
I'd like to do that immediately.
Oh, do it right now.
Do you have a smartphone?
Yeah, yes. He does. Talk him through it. He's got a Galaxy, don't you?
Snapchat.
Oh, good for you.
I was impressed, and you can.
Okay.
And
here's what you do. Now watch this, Bill. What I want you to do, I'm going to do this with another Apple user, but stay with me for a second.
He doesn't have an Apple. It's just
pay attention. He's got an Android. Thank God. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Do you know how to get to the Play Store?
Yes.
Great. Go to the Play Store, and do you know how to search?
Yes.
I want you to search and type in QRD. Watch how simple this is on an Android.
QRD. Did it.
You got it? And you see how it says QR Droid?
Yes.
Press on that.
Got it.
It's downloading, right?
Well, it shows me several things.
Yeah, take the first one. I'm doing this blind, Bill.
Okay. Yeah, it says QR.
It's downloading, right?
Enter, install.
Yeah, install. Now, Bill, if you were an Apple user, I would have lost more than 50% of my audience because they say, I don't know my password. My wife has it. My partner has it. And I just throw my hands up in the air.
That's so true.
Okay.
The Apple password is confuses people because it can be any email address. It
doesn't matter what it is. They don't know it.
Yeah,
they can't load the app.
Okay.
I've just lost the customer. So go ahead, Nick.
So
it's down. It's done.
It's done.
All right. Do you know how to move apps, the icon to your homepage?
Yes.
Okay, good. Most people don't. So hold it down for a few seconds and drag it to your homepage.
Hey, Nick,
got it?
While he's going, I'd love to have Samantha come up because we're going to talk about Twitter.
We're done, by the way, Bill. That took how many seconds? We should have put a timer on it.
No, that was good. Now he's going to scan it, though.
Well, okay. For some reason, when I did that, it didn't. Okay.
That's why I asked you if you knew how to move the icon. If you said no, I would have showed you.
I do, or I have, but on this one, it isn't doing it for some reason.
No problem. Just in the lower right-hand corner, not the back arrow, right, on the phone, but in the lower right-hand corner, you should have a settings button or apps. It looks like a matrix where all of your apps are. Do you know where that is?
On
Here, I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, like that. This one.
Oh, yeah,
that one.
Really
Press that one.
Yeah.
And it's alphabetical, so it would be under Q. And by the way, these are normal human problems, Bill. You can see why I say to Verizon they should be shot, letting people get out the store without having that accomplished.
Boy, I'm not finding it. Here's the Play Store.
It's called UI User Interface. Hey, Samantha, while we're talking, if you can come up for a few minutes, introduce yourself to Dr. Nicholas Hernandez, Professor Chapman, and he's putting up art stores. We're giving him a little. I was going to go online and give him a Twitter lesson, a lesson on Twitter, because he has Twitter. It's Ask Hernandez, @Ask Hernandez. And we're trying to show how valuable and how well you can use it for IMing and things like that. Because we got to get him really smart down there in Laguna and with the people he's around. All these brilliant people at Chapman who don't use, it's technology.
Well,
I'm impressed.
What you said, Jim, for the art store would be just amazing. That would be really great. Hi, Samantha.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
From Ireland.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. It's evening time.
We had
Can you scan
plans from an Irish guy yesterday, 2 days ago.
Not yet, Jim. I'm still. I've got.
I don't want to take Bill's time online. I'll do that for you for free offline.
You know what?
Samantha, can you scan this?
Yeah, Jim, Nick, why don't you guys set up a Blab together?
Okay, I'm going to give you my phone number, Jim, right here.
That's the best. Just give me the phone.
Thanks.
No, I can't scan it. Hang on.
Oh boy.
You have a scanner? I scanned it.
My phone is in bits because I dropped it the other day. So
My daughter did that.
Oh, I love your accent.
thank you.
The Twittering goddess. Don't you know that?
Irish?
Yeah, I'm Irish. Yeah, I live in Ireland.
I
yeah.
love you twice. I used to be. I'm from Western Ireland.
No way.
You
Whereabouts?
Yeah, far Western Ireland. Santan Valley outside of Phoenix. County
Okay.
Cork.
Cork. Yeah. Okay. I'm in Wexford, which is kind of the southeast. I'm following you now on Twitter.
Yeah, we're going to help Nick
Thank
on
you.
Twitter a little bit so he learns the IM and the power of Twitter.
Yeah.
He's a Professor Chapman, PhD. He's got the honorary, and then he does art. Well known in Laguna Beach, California. He's full disclosure. I've known him since I was 3 years old.
Here you go. I'm going to get out of here, Bill. I got 2 phone calls. I'm going to help Nick, and I'm also going to help
You
Chris.
hook up with
Okay.
Nick and go over that IR.
Yep. And Samantha, someday I'd like to get to know you. I'm impressed with your numbers.
Thank you.
On Twitter, yeah.
There's loads of tips on my site, so go to my blog and have a look. And
You're going to Florida too, aren't you, for a forum or conference?
no,
right?
I'm not. That's not happening now.
Oh,
Which sometimes
it'll
happens.
happen eventually.
I hope so. That'd be nice.
Maybe New
yeah.
York
But
City.
yeah. Oh, I'd love to go to New York. I've never been to the States at all. So
You'll make it. You'll make it. The stuff has come. Oh, she disappeared off from Ireland. Disappeared. We just lost the Irish connection. There she comes back. Come on. So we did a show. I forgot what show Samantha's on. The number. We're back.
But yeah, nice to meet you. I see there's some people in the room as well. Patrick, he's Irish too.
Yep.
He jumped into the room there.
All I have to do is put Samantha.
Hey, Rob.
So what are we talking about? How to bring your offline world to your online presence.
Yep.
Well, that's really easy to do, but then you need to use it correctly. And for someone that's offline a lot and is used to the old school way of doing things, which is meeting face to face, and that's fine, and that's actually really important. What I do is I bring my online world offline. So you're doing the opposite. So it depends where your target market is, who the people are that you want to hang out with. So for example, Twitter, the demographic is age 35 to 55, and the highest growing demographic are over 55s. So it's a great place if you're feeling isolated or you want to meet new people, you like chatting. If you like chatting to new people and making new friends, it's great. But also business-wise, if your target market is in that demographic, then they're all hanging out on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And the messaging is pretty good too.
Oh, it's just, look, it's wonderful because you can reach people all over the world. That's how I ended up on Blab in the first place as well. I love Blab because I feel you can see the people, you can see their expressions, and my expressions are a bit dangerous because I can give a lot away with my expressions, and people be watching me on Blab laughing, going, "Oh my God, Sam's face," So you can give away a lot with your expressions, but it's just changed my whole life, and Twitter has changed my whole life. So I'm a big fan of Twitter, but it depends where your audience are. What kind of people would you like to hang out with, Dr. Nick?
Anybody with brains.
art people. You want to get that art connection going into Laguna. Well, you live in the art capital of the world, of the United States, not of the world, but one of the very core art cities of California.
Yeah, the arts, the art is strong here. 25% of our of the total income of Laguna Beach is art based, and it's the top in the United States. I was an art commissioner here for 4 years. And the feds did a study, and the next closest percentage is Miami, with 11% of their income being art-based. Okay. So Laguna, there are thousands of municipalities in the country right now using Laguna as a template because they realize that supporting the arts can bring income, a great deal of income. So they're starting to do public art, starting to support artists, and do art festivals, things like that this is what Laguna does. And they're finding out that it actually produces a great deal of income. So we are having an effect pretty much across the country right now. And
that's wonderful. You could create a hashtag chat for artists. Laguna, what's it called? Laguna Beach.
Laguna Beach, yes.
Yeah, Laguna Art Chat.
That would be great. I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then start. You need to expand your network first, build your relationships on Twitter first. But I can help you that way by I can connect you with some artists over here.
Oh, that would be so neat. You could interview a Blab artist in Ireland.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, that would be great.
That's what we need to do.
Such a boost for them,
Absolutely.
Actually, I must show you. A guy did a picture of me there, an artist. I'm actually going to put the tweet into the chat if that's okay.
Yeah. That's fine. No, yeah, definitely. I just dropped in.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He did a sketch of my Twitter picture, and his name is Alan. Hang on. and he's brilliant, and it's just so sweet. Like, he did it just because he wanted to practice, but I'm like, oh my God, it's brilliant. So I'm considering using it as my profile picture in future, but I'll just show it. I'll put the tweet in when I find it. Okay, so you keep going there. I'll keep looking.
And there's also, if Nick goes to your timeline, or if you go to your timeline, on the timeline, it opens up, you'll see your TEDx speech. You'll see our little YouTube, and you'll see the Blab, and a little bit about you, as a quick reference.
And, there's something else that I'm involved with, and that's STEAM. There is an education initiative in the United States called STEM, and it's an acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. But a couple of years ago, and it was started in about 2008 when the recession was hitting, and the United States realized that we didn't have enough engineers, enough scientists. Too many of our kids were studying the humanities and business and law, and not nearly enough science. So STEM has, nudged quite a few kids into studying science, math, engineering, technology. So, but some CEOs in DC a couple years ago at a convention were complaining about the lack of creativity they were finding in their workforce. Excuse me. And they decided to add the letter A to STEM and make it STEAM. So now it's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And I think it's really important, because to study art, can you think of any career that doesn't require creativity? There's no such thing.
Yeah.
And so practicing an art, whether you're going to be an artist or not, that's irrelevant. It's important to practice an art because you're practicing that infinite potentiality, and and using that infinite potentiality, which is creativity. Yeah. So we're using STEAM. So also, as far I've got a STEAM event that I'm participating in at the Orange County Fair, and it's called Imaginology, and it's about basically the demographic is kids about 14 and under, and making science fun. Showing them and getting their interest in science, and showing how fun it can be. And art is one way. When people are having fun, they're very impressionable and they can learn easily. So this would tie into the Laguna Art Talk or Art Lab or whatever.
Chat. You could call it chat, because I think chat is very popular kind of with hashtags. But just to show you, I just put that into the link into the tweet with the picture of me that Alan did. And Alan, I can connect you with Alan actually after this. And just say hi.
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice.
That is nice.
He's so sweet, he's so sweet. But I mean, there's lots of good artists that are on Twitter, that are really active on Twitter, that I could connect you with, and then maybe you could start a kind of a transatlantic.
I would love that.
Twitter chat for artists,
And here's something
wake
else.
Up people in Laguna. See, what we said is bringing that offline world to the online presence. There's so many people who are they got like a stop. They're academians too, who aren't grabbing the online stuff.
Well, I think STEM is very important. The STEM thing that you're talking about is very popular over here, especially amongst women. They're trying to get more women the attention they deserve in technology over here in Ireland. Like, there's a Digi Women, there's all those kind of hashtags. But I know my friend Carol. I mean, I said, do you know Coder Dojo? Coder Dojo. It's a movement for teaching coding to children, because they don't learn it in school. They don't learn it in school over here. So Bill Yao, who founded it with James Welton, they started Coder Dojo. So it's here, I'll put it in. But it's just really, it's voluntary, like no money. You know what I mean? It's just my friend and myself, we set it up here. She runs it though. I mean, because I just didn't have the time, and she's into all that kind of stuff. So I just kind of pushed her a little bit into it, but she's actually brilliant at managing it. And it's just, she does it every Saturday, and we get volunteers and they teach coding to kids. So it's like, it is the way to go. All that STEM, everything is like, there you go. Roland has just said that he has artists in his network.
I just followed Roland, so I'll
Roland,
Roland, yeah.
Nick, there's an Alan up above who's it says draw to live. Nice little drawing on his Twitter site.
Wow.
See if
There
he's
you
still up
go.
there.
That's how easy it is when you're online to connect with people. You don't have to do a big long email. You don't have to do a big message on LinkedIn. You just go here, meet blah blah blah, blah blah blah,
Watch.
and blah blah blah. And that's it.
Connecting art to people. Watch this. Watch what I'm doing, Nick.
What are you doing?
OPL online. I just changed the topic. Connecting art to people online.
Oh yeah.
So that draws other people in who might be
Or
artists and stuff.
connecting the dots. Or no, you could say no.
Let me do it. You dictate because I'm not a great.
No, I'm not. No. It's your show. I'm just dropping in. I don't want to take over.
This is nobody's show. This is just blab right now. This is thinking. This is think tank. Connecting.
Excuse me. I'm gonna get this.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, this is not
Lori, I'm online doing a blab right now. Let me call you back in about 5
connecting
minutes.
people.
Goodbye. Okay.
People to art.
Oh, this is great. This is exciting.
Wow.
This is really exciting. I love this, Bill. And Samantha.
Connecting people to art with blab.
Here's something else.
Now change it to blab, not bulb. This is bulb.
BLAB. Yeah. I'm bad. My
Yeah,
fingers.
that's great. Because, and here's something else, Samantha, that I've got. So far, since I've been hooked up with Chapman University, I've gotten 5 kids in with full boat scholarships and grants, and they're doing amazing. And we're looking for poor, smart kids. And for me, and I don't care whether it's art or what. So I'm in a position now to be able to do that. And I'm working on my 6th student, get a ballerina that's just amazing, a young ballerina. We're getting into the dance school at Chapman. I just got a young woman into the film school. So that, having a broader outreach through this would be amazing,
Yeah.
And I'm looking for poor, smart kids, and particularly kids whose parents, the kids that are, this is their first family member to go to college. That's not necessary. I mean, I've gotten several kids in that they're, whose parents have gone to college, but that's what I'm really looking for. And I have the opportunity to do it. And I have to tell you, it's 1,000 times better than art. Getting these kids in school is amazing.
Yeah. I'd say the reward and the feeling is wonderful. Actually, that's so funny because I did a women's event here yesterday. Was it yesterday? Oh my God, I've been so busy this week. Yeah, it was yesterday
I saw something on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, there was a guy, a woman I know, and I know they don't have finance. And she asked me one day about, she wanted to set up a GoFundMe page because her son, who's a hugely talented soccer player, I'm just going to, there's a dog next door barking. Sorry, one second.
That's okay. My dog was barking this morning.
Sorry, yeah. So what happened was, she did. I know she doesn't. She's on welfare and she doesn't have money. But she approached me and said, "Look, how do I set up a GoFundMe page? I really want Harry to go. He has a chance to go to France and be seen in front of these talent scouts." And I said, "Okay, well, how much do you need?" And she said, whatever it was. And I said, "Well, look, I'll sponsor to kick you off, like." And then I told her to come to the women's event. And she got up and I told her to get up. I introduced her, told her to get up in front of the women. And I just said, "Look, tell us the story about Harry." And she was saying all about him, how wonderful he was, but she'd love to give him this chance to go. I told her to bring a sponsorship card with her. And one of the women in the audience actually stood up and said, "I know your son. My husband is the coach on the soccer team and he's always talking about Harry." So, and that was a stranger she didn't know. And so that was just amazing. And she nearly started crying then, And so then everybody, of course, gave, €5, 10, a little bit, everybody. And I just didn't pressure them. I just left the card at the end of the table and let them do it themselves or whatever. But she raised enough in that morning to send them. So I just totally believe, and I said this as well,
That's awesome.
that I don't think finance should stop anyone from following their dreams. Like, I think I've been in that situation myself. When I started out, I was on social welfare and I felt it was wrong that just because I didn't have a budget or I couldn't get out of the poverty trap, I still did it, but oh my God, it was hard work, and I wouldn't like anyone else to have to go through that hard work I did, So, I would really fully support you, what you're doing there. So do keep tweeting to me and tag me in any tweets that you want me to retweet. And yeah, I love it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Well, I'm just, Bill has just brought me into this recently, and I'm learning, constantly and trying to figure out what to do. And Bill's guided me into where we are so far, and I'm loving it.
That's my brother-in-law.
Oh, is it right? Okay. Do you like?
I know him since I was 3. He's older than me. We're going to celebrate his 70th birthday next month on the 18th. We're going to have him on the 18th next month.
What? Ah, he's not that old.
Yeah,
no way.
Grew up on that coast.
Well, you obviously, hang on. My daughter is looking for me here. Come here. Say hello. Come on. Say hello. Please. Come on. Come on.
Come on. We got
to here, I'll put the headphones on there. Go on. No, she wants my. I better go. She wants my attention. Okay, so
thank you, Samantha. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Samantha.
Just say hello.
I'll be in touch.
Just say she's going to say hello.
There you go. Oh, beautiful. How old is she?
She's 9.
Oh wow!
Great.
Beautiful long hair like her mom.
She's hearing impaired with severe language delay, but she's doing really well, and she's lovely, and she's so much fun. So I better spend some time with her. So I better go, right? And
thank you, Samantha. I appreciate it. You guys, Nick.
And I'll see you on Twitter.
We gotta get him on. Get him on Blab. You just go directly to Blab, and let's get this art show going with him talking art, and get artists from around the world on.
Look, there's nobody really doing that on Blab yet, so go for it. Yeah.
But I've been searching almost daily for an art site. I finally found one about art and consciousness, but when I got on, they only had 1 minute left. Yeah, that was yesterday.
Go ahead and tweet. Go ahead and tweet out this thing I put up there. Look, I put Ask Nick.
I connected you with 2 artists there, Nick, on Twitter. Okay, so go check your Twitter notifications later.
You know what? I blew it. It should be Ask Nick Hernandez. Let me fix this.
Okay. Bye. Sorry, I have to go.
I'm going to change Nick, name. I didn't do your name right. So let me do this again. I'm going to go to topic as we finish it out. I'm going to paste.
That's awesome, Bill.
We want to go Ask Nick Hernandez. It's Ask Hernandez, not Nick. It's Ask Hernandez.
Yeah.
Ask. We'll do this again. Hernandez. So what'll happen now, we'll get better. I put this up on your website too. So that's better. Ask Hernandez. And that will give you, now tweet it. And it'll shoot it around. I'll tweet it.
Now, how do I do that? How do I tweet
the little blue thing on the little blue handle underneath the title where it says recording?
Oh, yeah.
Just tweet it. Just hit it, and it'll automatically shoot it out to your Twitter account. And then you can post it on your Facebook, too. I think you're hooked up on Facebook. I'm going to reshare this on your timeline because the first one I put the wrong name. So I put this on yours, and I go, Nick. I should put it on Nikki's, too. Do Nikki's. Post it here. And I'm going to post one on Nikki's, too.
Okay, I just did it. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm posting this on Nikki's timeline. See how this Nikki. I just posted on Nick's timeline on his Facebook. So you can really put a lot of stuff up fast with this platform. Hey folks, we got to go. Nick, let's get you back on doing an art one. Anytime we'll just come up and do a quick art show. We could Saturday afternoon. Saturday's tomorrow. I could do a short show with you tomorrow. Whatever your schedule is.
Okay. Yeah.
Just give me a call on the phone when you want to do one.
Okay.
You gotta get people in Chapman to see some of the stuff we're doing because I can tell you Chapman doesn't know anything about Blab, Chapman University.
Right.
You could introduce it to them.
I would love to. Yeah.
Great.
I'll be working very soon. Because of the Performing Arts Center that they're doing. So I will. It seems that this the art thing gets interest.
Yeah. Look at all the people have shown up above. We want to get one more person up here too. I hate. We got 113. We got to get 114. We got somebody else to come in. Yeah. See how I brought that up. So we need to get up on an art show for you. And
yeah. I'd love to get that going.
You can show the art too. You just hold it, show it. Everyone show their art.
And what Jim said was interesting. About being able to. Chat immediately about a work of art, by downloading that, whatever that.
Oh yeah. You could do that. Have a picture on the website with the QR code. By the way, Carlos just showed up. Carlos, we were using QR codes today on Blab to really bring up some neat stuff. We were doing that earlier on in the show, that QR code. That was pretty impressive. I don't have it printed. If I print it off right now, I could print off this show. Stay on for a second. I'm going to go print off this QR code because I've got this is the Blab QR code. This is the invitation for today's show, I think. Let me print this off. I'll go grab it real fast. I'll show you. Were you able to make the QR code work, Nick, on your phone?
I don't know.
You guys are going to do it offline, so
yeah, I'll get a hold of him and do that right now. But I better go because
okay, you are going to go. I just print off the QR code, folks. We'll be back tomorrow Hey, real quick advertise tomorrow at 9:00. We have 9:00 Pacific. We have a joint Timelines and WP Tonic. It's the WordPress show. We're going to come up with plugins A to Z, WP plugins A to Z. John is going to be there. His show is up. His show is up right now on Timelines at timelines.com. And also Jonathan's going to be there, and we'll be talking WordPress. And then after WordPress, we'll go into Open Blab in the morning. Then on Sunday, just a reminder, Sunday night, we have Meet the Voter at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Actually, 5:30, Nick, 5:30. The notes are up. We're coming out at 5:30 on Sunday. You're up first on Sunday.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Heather. We're going to have Heather and you be really nice to each other.
Oh,
That's going to be a rule.
Heather and I get along pretty good.
Yeah, just let her interrupt if she wants to interrupt. Just smile. So,
okay.
Anyway, we have some other folks too coming in, probably on art right now, but we'll get your show going on art. I think that'll be really important.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'll start
bring someone in and interview somebody from Laguna about art. Get them set up too with their own system.
Just that at the moment, I've got so many projects.
Yeah,
my hands are full.
You don't have to do it all the time. Just do it from time to time. Start building your.
Yeah, I would love to. Because I can see a great advantage to it.
All right, Nick. We'll sign off. Hey, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you for
coming.
Thank
you. Bye.